I moved to San Francisco in 1986, and a month later I tested positive. So for me, San Francisco and AIDS are inextricably linked. They're one and the same.
The AIDS epidemic began showing up in San Francisco in the 1980s.
People were dying all around us. And it was like being dropped into a war zone.
I went to a lot of memorials, a lot of tears.
I lost all friends, lovers, family, you name it.
It just seemed like my whole existence was being wiped out.
And as an HIV positive man, I just knew that I would be next.
I fully expected to be dead.
In 1996, protease inhibitors came along and changed the game. People stopped dying in such huge numbers.
I realized that I was going to live long enough to buy a car and be able to make all the car payments.
I didn't think I would live to see the year 2000. That it's 2014 now is kind of mind-boggling.
It sounds like it should be one of those, oh, be grateful, have a party, you're going to live. It was the exact opposite. It was scary beyond belief.
You cannot watch that many people die. You cannot watch the injustice that we watched and not have that affect you.
I experienced a deep depression that I didn't recognize, and I didn't know how to get help for it.
I don't even know how to articulate how painful that is and what I feel like I'm carrying with me all the time.
Once the worst of AIDS was over, things subsided, people were moving on with their lives. Though that moving on was difficult for a lot of us.
AIDS survivor syndrome is a continuing sense of being caught in the death horizon.
46 to 48% of us deal with depression, suicidal thoughts and tendencies,
Anxiety, lack of future orientation, not being able to imagine being an old person.
The cause of AIDS survivor syndrome is multifaceted. It is physical, because of the chemicals that are in my body. It is psychological because of mourning and loss and what I've gone through emotional. And it is environmental. I feel that my experience is being erased from the public record within my own lifetime.
It would be wrong for me to talk about how sad and how tragic and how just, confusing it was without talking about how beautifully people came together and took care of each other and formed a community that was very strong and resilient.
We showed the world how to handle AIDS. How do we treat AIDS patients?
AIDS couldn't have happened to a better city. We were the city with the heart.
I certainly honor all of the organizations that are still trying to do work with people with HIV and AIDS. But San Francisco has changed in that it almost purposely does not want to remember a certain era of activism.
Society in general, when the medications came, shelved us all. They wanted us to shut up and go away.
It startles me. It wasn't, 20 years ago, and people are acting like this never even happened.
We're going to go into retirement and aging in poverty, and no one's prepared. We're not prepared mentally, emotionally, financially, because we're all supposed to be dead.
Of all the things I planned on dying. I took care of everyone around me. Because I was dying, I wanted to make my death easier on them. The one thing I didn't plan for was being alive and thinking about retirement.
San Francisco must step up to the plate and acknowledge that we are still here. We have to show the world the way, the path, again, how to take care of elderly with AIDS.
Whatever we didn't get right in the first part of the epidemic, we can get that right this time. I am taking all of the knowledge and using that to try to recreate community, rebuild my life, and I'm starting to envision a future that I never dreamed of.